Good evening, everybody. For those who don't know me, I'm Adam Seabridge. I'm a Sitecore freelance developer based in Manchester. And tonight I'm going to talk to you about Sitecore PowerShell extensions. So just a quick once around the room. How many people are using Sitecore PowerShell extensions, or have used it? Okay, cool. And how many of you are business users? How many of you are developers? Everyone's a developer? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So hopefully there's some useful tips tonight and some things that business users might actually get at using Sitecore PowerShell extensions as well. Quick little bit about me. So I've been working with Sitecore for about 6 years now, and I've been MVP for 2 of those years. Quite active in the Sitecore community, and I also organise the Manchester Sitecore user group. So shameless plug, if anyone wants to come over to Manchester anytime, then you're welcome to. And we're always looking for speakers as well. All right. So what is SPE? Essentially, it's a module for Sitecore, and it gives you a PowerShell interface into Sitecore's API. So it allows you to do a whole bunch of different things. It's very powerful. I would say it's probably the best module for Sitecore out there. I use it all the time. Really versatile module. And that gets can get really annoying. So what can it do? It can do a whole load of different things. To give you some examples, so it can create items, delete items, move, copy them. You can update layouts. You can run various reports, do certain maintenance tasks, import and export data. You can even create custom API endpoints, which I didn't realise until recently. Pretty powerful. We can schedule tasks. It also has a bunch of tools and scripts and a toolbox out of the box with various functionality, which grows with each release. Hopefully you're going to demo some actually later. Loads more besides. There's not a lot I can't do, to be honest. Quick shout out to the SPE team. So these guys relentlessly work on SPE. Michael West is really supportive on Sitecore Stack Exchange on Slack, helping you out, and he's actually provided me with a version of a beta release of SPE 6, which we're going to demo today. So it's not actually out yet in the wild, but it is a community effort. So if you guys want to help out, build some stuff for SPE, then go for it. But yeah, really strong work by these guys. So quick overview of what's new in 5.1. So this is the release that's out at the moment in the wild. So there's a whole load of new reports, some stuff that helps you manage renderings and layouts. There was also Audit Trail and media by file size reports, ability to click recycle bin, an elevate unlock button tool, which is pretty cool because out of the box you can only unlock your own items. That allows you then to give users a permission that then means they can unlock, so like power users to unlock items, which is something that I've found before with straight content editors. And things like data import, export, and create tools, and also a data sync tool, so something different to DF, Data Exchange Framework, and a content migrator tool. So quite a lot in 5.1. So in 6, this isn't out yet, but I'm assuming it'll be out soon. I'll hopefully show you some of this today. So there's a big focus in version 6 on training. There's a load more training examples, a bunch of new reports, which will be good. There's the ability now to switch renderings. That's really powerful. We'll demo that to you later. And also just something to be aware of, there's a lot of breaking changes in SPE 6. So they've actually renamed everything from Cognified, which is where Adam used to work, which is why its name is Cognified, and it's all now been renamed to SPE. So all of the configs, DLLs, everything. So there will be a little bit of upgrade pain, I'm guessing. So just something to be aware of. Quick thing about security. So I think oftentimes there's people in IT or in DevOps who are a little bit scared about how powerful SPE is and the kind of things you can do with it. It is fairly well locked down now. It has control at admin and I think it's like a developer role level. So normally if it ended up in UAT or production environments, only those users would end up using it. You probably shouldn't have it in your production environment anyway. But also it has this thing called user account control. I think it's version 4.2, which basically if you were to leave your console unlocked on your machine, after 5 minutes of times out, it asks you for your password again. So it has got a bunch of security built in to try and stop that. And if you're on your local machine and you want to turn this off, you can change this here to allow with a patch file so that it doesn't keep asking you every 5 minutes, which is what I've done for this demo. Alright, so I don't want to bore everyone too much with too many slides, so I'm going to demo a couple of things. So first up, I'm going to show you a few things that I've used quite a lot recently, and then that kind of come out of the box, and talk a bit about creating scripts, and then actually demonstrate some custom scripts that I've written that kind of help us do things in PowerShell. So this is probably where it all goes wrong. Everyone see that okay? Yeah. Alright, so something that I use quite often, probably every day at the moment, because I'm building a bunch of new page templates and components and so on, is the quick download as package tool. So this is a Cycle 92 instance with SPE 6 installed, and if I go to the context menu on these components, we've got packaging option, which SPE brings for you, and it's quick download for its packages. It's the item I want to show you. So what this does, basically you don't have to go into normal package, build package, blah blah, pick your items, etc., put in all your info, etc. This just does it all for you with one right click. You can choose which items to pick up, from where it's in the tree, and how it merges the package. But one of the really cool options is you can include your media. So that's really useful for things like exporting components, so it brings you your media from the media library. So you might use this for handing over some custom components you were developing to another developer, or I'm using it at the moment for pushing stuff into our development environment, because I wouldn't normally include templates and layouts here. We use Unicorn, you might use TDS for that. Which is probably not the right tool to use for that, but for moving content over, it's really good. So you can then just click continue, and it will just download it, and there you go, you've got a package. So
it looks up those images in the media library and adds them to the package.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So literally within 3 seconds, I can download the package from the tree, include the media items, and if you want other things, and I can Slack that to somebody or email it or whatever. Really useful kind of productivity. It does have another option, which is a more advanced start new package option, which does give you some more options to configure. So you can use that as well. So the next one I want to show you was copy renderings. So to use an example here, so my news page, as you can see, doesn't actually have any renderings on it. And if I wanted to take them from another page in the page layout, I can quickly do that by using this option. So again, on the script, layout, copy renderings. Let's copy all the renderings, and then if I go to my news item, I can do the reverse of that and paste them. There you go. So now it's copied all those renderings over from one item to another. So dead quick to do, probably something you'd use more in development or for demos or testing purposes, because really these should be set, as most software developers know, on standard values on the base template used by the page. So in this case, it would be on the new page. So at the moment, I did ask Michael that functionality doesn't support copying back to the base template, but I did write an SPE script to do that, which I'll show you in a minute if we've got time. So yeah, again, pretty useful for productivity. All right, jumping into reports. So there's a whole load of reports, and these are really expanded in version 6. So I just wanted to pick out a few of these. One of them that I think is really useful is media items by size. So I'm sure I'm not alone in content editors complaining about how Pages is slow, loading the experience edit, or Pages is slow to publish, and it's probably because somebody's gone in and uploaded a 5 megabyte image or something stupid, which, okay, we try and code against that as developers, but you might miss it or whatever. So here, this is really good. You can kind of pick. I haven't got a huge image in here, so if I run it on 250 kilobytes, you can see there's a bunch of images there that are over 250 kilobytes. So we could export that as a CSV or Excel and share that with the team and ask them to, send us the reduced size images, or just go in directly and edit those. So that's pretty useful. There's a similar report for alt tags as well, off the same menu, which would be good if one of the first SPE scripts I ever wrote, I think, was to find items without alt tag set, and I think I use AI to populate them based on the image or something. But so that's out of the box now. Using the empty alt fields. Another one on the solution audit is how often a rendering is used. So I wrote some reports to this recently for the project we're doing to try and work out what components to use. We've got a lot of components in use. We're building new page layouts, new components. So this might be a report that would be useful to use to work out. Maybe you can get rid of some components that are hardly used. Maybe you can consolidate some, or at least understand which of the main components that content editors are using in the site. Couple more reports. So under the content audit, we've got a locked items report, and you can filter this by user and type and so on. We've only got the one locked item context of this page, but you can actually, let's give you an option over here to transfer the lock. So if it's locked by a certain user, you can do it, transfer it to that user so they can lock it, or you can open it and unlock it yourself if you're happy and you've got permissions to do so. Configuration audit reports. A good one here is there's an audit trail from the logs. I think this is brand new in 6, or it's certainly in 5.1. So what this does, it looks at the logs and works out what changes have been made recently. So if you're having problems in production or UAT or something, and content editors, you ask content editors and they say we haven't done anything, or we don't know what might cause it, you can look at this report and it might give you some ideas about what might have happened. Maybe somebody's done something silly, deleted something, whatever. So you can use that to help find out. And then lastly, there's another good one is the logged in users report. So you can see how many users are logged into the system. I know there's the kick user page, which is similar, but this quite useful because you can export it, so you can see, you can export a list of users that are logged in. You can actually kick the users from here, and so on as well. So and open up their accounts directly from here and so on as well. So yeah, take a look at that because there's a lot of different reports in there, and you can build your own custom reports as well. Might be version 6, but certainly version 6 anyway. You can build them using the rules engine, so you don't even need a developer to build the reports. So it's writing code, you can actually just build them based on this. All right, so just to dive in a little bit to writing scripts. Of people who are using SPE, I guess you guys have written scripts before in the past, but just for those of us that haven't, I've set a quick demo script. So this is pretty simple. Like if you're used to writing standard like PowerShell, you find a variable with the $sign, and if I execute that, we see that it's got features like peeking, so you can see what the value of the variable is, and it's also writing that variable out to the console here, so I can see what that is. So yeah, not particularly complicated. So let's do something a bit more difficult. So if I find a new variable, it has functionality that does like autocomplete, so you can type something and it will try and complete it for you. So I want to use get child item, So you press Control and space, and it will fire up that autocomplete dialog, which is really useful. The other thing you can do, you can select a method or a function like this. You can do Control Return, and that will actually come up with details of the method, function, what the parameters are, that kind of stuff, which is really useful as well. Unfortunately, this is deployed on your own custom functions. I have some ideas then, you can have a look at whether that's possible. That'd be really good. So I can see here I need to pass a path into it. So do that. And then I'm going to go to the master database. And I'm just going to copy the path just to make this a bit quicker. Alright, and then run that. So you don't see it on screen because I've not done anything with it, but it's now populated that variable with the 3 pages about you can contact us. So now if I want to actually see those, I can kind of hide that and choose how I want to display it. So there's a bunch of different options. Outbox. You've got a format list, which just does like a simple list. Going on the page. Oh, yeah, good shout. There you go, that's what happens with live demos. Yeah, so you got a list, or we can put it into the table. That's a bit more easy to read, or we can do stuff like, we can actually define like what field we want. And it will print those fields up here. Probably a really useful one, that I'm using a lot more is show list view. So what that does, that pops up the same view that you saw previously, where you can export in the reports. So you know, if you've got a custom query that's got custom data, etc., this is a really easy way of being able to export that and share that with the business. So it's pretty useful. Okay, so moving on from that, let's make it a little bit more adventurous. So I've got a little loop here that I'm coming to out. I'll put that back in. Yeah, so that's just outputting 1 to 10. What I can do here, if I want, I can actually attach the debugger, and I can then run that, and it will stop on 1. It tells me that it's currently 0, and I can do things like pop up the new window like you might do in Visual Studio, and I can set that to a new value. So set that to 7, and then if I tell that to continue, it actually will only write out.
Is this a 6 feature or?
I think that's debugging's been available for quite a while. I think probably certainly before version 5. So that's really useful. Obviously, as a code like that's not all that reusable. So what I might do is I might try and put that into a function. So if you go to the plugins tab, you can see that there's the option to insert snippets, which you might get in other languages. And one of those is the ability to add a function. So it kind of stops out the function tree, which is pretty handy to save a bit of time. So you can then take the contents of whatever you want to put into it. And then I'm going to call my function out to x. And then I'm going to change the name of this variable to max. So then this is like a reusable method, which will count into whatever the max value is I pass in. And then I can then call that further. So go back and run that. There you go, it's counting on 4. So you obviously wouldn't really want to keep that all in one script. You want to and move your functions to somewhere else so you can reuse them. So what you want to do, open probably a new window, and then save that into the functions library. So SPE ships with a functions library itself, but I've created my own folders which are easy to do, store your own functions into stuff, and then I'm going to call that counter. So then what that means is, back over here, I can get rid of that script. And I can use the import function statement at the top of my script, and again with the autocomplete. Oh yeah, you were. I can't see from this. I go through them. So pretty that's working. I've changed it right now. So it's now back on one. So that makes it reusable. So yeah, I advise, rather than, I used to write SPE scripts and keep all my functions in the scripts, and it just gets messy and they're not really reusable. So I'd highly advise to use that import function. You do need to, through the interface, so one little tip is you do need to create your, when you save your function, so my function's over there, when you save it, make sure you do new module and pick, what is it, share functions the very first time and create your module. So this would be my demo SPE functions module, because otherwise it doesn't wire it up properly. So that import function mechanism doesn't work. So the very first time you create your first function, make your little functions folder, which then from that point onwards you can then use for any other functions. So you can see it works. Okay. So I think move on to some scripts that I've written now and just show you like some useful stuff. So if I go into my functions library, the first one is, as I say, I've been doing a lot of creating a lot of pages recently, new components, building out apps, and it's pretty monotonous doing the whole create a component, give it an icon, set your insert options on the standard values, etc. So I tried to stop some of that out so that you could just automate that. So that's what this method does here. And it creates a folder for you as well to store your component in. So, so if I open that up, demo script for that, which calls that function. I've got one for the rendering as well, so it'll stack all your component, folder and the rendering. So we go over here, under my templates, you can see I've got my components folder, I've got banners, heroes, promos. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a feature. So it's going to be my new component. So if I run that, that's going to call my scaffold function, and that should then refresh this folder. Creating a feature, yeah. So it's creating my feature item, and it's creating my feature folder. So I can then just go in here, and I can add my fields, and I can set the icon. If you're not using it, it's a really useful tool for setting icons. So if you wanted one for that feature, you just do that, and it would actually, normally I think if you're on the content tab, it usually works really well. There you go. So no digging around in the site core, icon search, which is really slow and awkward to use. So then I can add my folder. Yeah. So I'm creating my components in shared. So then my feature folder. So I'm just going to call this features. And then you can see that it's already done my insert options on here for me from my scaffolding. I didn't need to do any of that. Literally just add an icon, add a folder here, and then add all your fields. So the other one is the scaffolding the rendering as well. So I've done the same thing here. So again, call it feature, and that's going to create me a rendering, and it's going to set my data source to that default, like it understands that all my components live in a certain place, and it knows that the name of it, so it's going to set a data source, it's going to set a data template, it's going to set my view based on the format, it's also going to set the cache settings. So again, within a few seconds, within my layout folder here, I now have, I now have a feature component. So again, I need to set my icon. Pretty quick to do, but it's set my view to me. It's also set my data source to there because it knows this is like the format of where my components live. It's set my template based on the name and set my cache settings. So I can quickly scaffold up components and build them pretty quickly using this. I've also done one that does another script that does this bit as well. It'll even create me a default folder with data. So one last thing with SPE related to this that you can do, it's pretty cool, is in the toolbox. So more place for that. Sorry. So if I want to create a bunch of features within that folder. So what I do, go over here, go into PowerShell toolbox. So this is where there's a bunch of things that additional features that PowerShell SPE gives you. So there's this bulk item generator, and what you can do there, you can choose whether you want to create user items, and then you can pick the template and stuff, and you can choose what you want to call it. So I'm going to say create me 5 features. It asks me where I want to create them. I'm going to create them in my feature folder. What template I want to use. I'm going to use my feature template. You've got this random tree structure. I tried using that, it doesn't seem to do a lot. Anyway. And then you can click generate. So if you're creating like test content, really quick to add a bunch of components to your folder. There's actually another option in the toolbox for importing from a spreadsheet. So you've got a data import tool, and you can give it a spreadsheet, so you can maybe use that and scaffold out a bunch of components from that, and it tries to map the field for you based on your data template and stuff. So that's pretty useful tool to use. Alright, so moving on, I've also had to do had a situation where I needed to create a new header component, and it needed to be switched out across the whole of the site. So I wasn't going to do that on how many thousands of pages. I wanted to script that. So previously it wasn't possible with SPE. They didn't have the ability to switch rendering in 6. We now have this new switch rendering method. So you can give it one rendering and you can switch it out for another one. I had to write my own script using set rendering, but it did a similar kind of thing, but now this has been rolled out. So in this example, basically on the about page, that could be a whole load of pages though. We want to change the banner for a new, more complex hero that's got like title, text, and things like that on it. And then it goes through and sets that. So if we look at our about page, look at the layout, you can see that it's got a banner on there. So basically if we run this, it's telling me it switched it out from banner to hero. And then if we look down here, you can see it's now got a hero. Currently, again, that doesn't support doing it on standard values on the template as far as I know, but that can be done with some customization. So that's quite useful if you've got rollout components across loads of different pages. I really recommend using that. You can just automate that in whatever environment. So another thing I found useful during development is being able to auto-publish items. Again, rather than have to go through the tree, I've got to publish my layouts, I've got to publish my templates, I've got to publish my page, I've got to publish my placeholder settings, etc. So I created this, there is the ability to publish, call this publish item method inside PowerShell. But I've wrapped it up in this publish all lines, all targets method, so that I can get a database, all the targets, the languages, and also optionally whether to use this using block, which will disable the events. So if if you've got a bunch of events like reindexing or whatever that fire on publish, you can disable those by passing in false to this script. So again, I've got a demo of that. So that's not a function. Oh, I did use that one there. So this script here will publish, calls my method that will show you that function, and it publishes everything from my pages that I'm working on. So just to demonstrate this, if I run this script, you'll see the publishing queue has not got anything in it. That's again using partial assumptions to show the publishing queue. Whereas if I run this, publish, and then rerun that script, you should see it will show, okay, I wasn't quick enough, but it would have shown the summary progress in here as well. So again, you can automate publishing, you can even automate viewing publishing as well. So yeah, with a bunch of those scripts combined, you can really accelerate the cycle a lot and take away the manual tasks that you might be doing. Alright, so one last one is package installation. So it is possible, I didn't realise until recently, to install packages with SPE, and you can actually install them from like a location of the machine. So you can give it a path to a bunch of packages, install them, and optionally disable indexing, which I've had done for installing packages where the indexing kills it just won't install. But also this might be useful if you, new developers setting up, you can script a run to install a bunch of packages, or if you're just trying to install packages across environments, you can also use this. So just to show you this working, I've got heroes. So I've got a bunch of heroes, and what this does is it's going to import a package which will add some more heroes. So it's already installed a package much quicker than manual package install. Refresh that, there you go. A bunch of heroes in there, which have brought over the images because I actually used the quick download tree as a package option. I'll show you a little bit. So yeah, I've got a bunch more things on my list, but it's 9 o'clock, so I'm going to wrap it up. So just going back to my slides a second. Alright, cool. So I demoed you all this stuff, plus maybe a little bit more. But yeah, there's loads of functionality in SPE, and the more time you spend using it, the more it can really speed things up, and the more you can save on having to write custom stuff as well to create reports and so on for business users, or export, import data, all that kind of stuff. I think gone are the days where you need to write stuff in C# to do these things. So does anyone have any questions?
What would your recommendations be for promoting PowerShell extensions installed through the environment?
So like dev, UAT, etc.
Yeah, so it has to be a repeatable process that can be tested and make sure that it reaches the product environment.
So yeah, there's different ways of. You're talking from the perspective of how do you get that past change control and DevOps, or the process of how you actually do it?
So if you imagine, say you install directly in production, but then in prod it might install some artifacts on the file system. That are then going to be wiped out the next time you deploy. Obviously, it's got its own source control.
There's different ways of handling that. Some people just commit files directly to their project and then just get packaged up and build. Some people create a NuGet package if the model doesn't exist on NuGet. I can't remember whether SPE does, I think it does. So you just have a NuGet package and then NuGet package restore and take that up. Other people have perhaps the packages in a folder, and then you have some kind of post-deploy functionality that installs them. Using Azure DevOps or TeamCity or Octopus, whatever you use. So I guess it depends really on how you're rolling it out, but there's certainly nothing to stop you from, having that as part of your build pipeline, and then also having your functions and your scripts again as another package, another zip that then is installed after you install SPE, so that those are kind of maintained. I think you could also use Unicorn. You could do the base install, so that certain things
just check all the artifacts.
Yeah, all the config, DLLs, whatever. But then actually the items would probably Unicorn, which again would take up your custom scripts and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Through Unicorn, and then they'd be source controlled. So you can probably do it with TDS as well. Any other questions?
So I was just going to ask for any of the talks tonight whether you put the presentations on LinkedIn so that they could be shared for people that couldn't make it.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
Cool. That's no problem. Alright, so you can contact me on my email or on Twitter, I'm usually on Slack and stuff as well. I do have a website, which is untitled.com. I don't know why I didn't put a link up. Those two links at the bottom. The second to bottom is the suckpowershells.com website. That's like pretty good documentation. It's like a GitHub book on all functionality. But this link at the very bottom there is the best one I found. So that's from Adam's blog, the guy that created SPE initially. And it has loads of links to videos, loads of links to other blogs, tons of other links to kind of documentation on not only SPE but also PowerShell in general. So yeah, that's a really valuable resource to get up and running and really get to understand SPE. But I'd highly advise the videos on YouTube. They're brilliant for getting to understand it. That's it. Cheers, guys.